It's an absurd situation we're in, where nothing that anyone does whilst being Muslim is any responsibility of Islam's. Yet anything anyone does whilst being a Christian or a Jew is responsibility of all Christians, all Jews. Let's make this as straightforward as I can. Take the categorization that eminent scholars like Bernard Lewis, Ibn Waraq have made. Let's say Islam is a very, very complex thing. And the best way I can do this in the very short time I have is say you have three Islams. Islam 1, 2 and 3. Islam 1, the Quran and the life of Muhammad and the Hadith. Islam 2, the tradition of the Sharia. Islam 3, what Muslims do now. The first of those things, Islam, the Quran and so on, is bad. It is bad. There is a lot of violence in it. And what's worse, the peaceful verses are superseded by the violent verses. The violent verses also, sadly, are more numerous in number. Then you've got the life of Muhammad. Again, a bad man. A very bad man, it has to be said. Not a great role model, if you look at it. Takes child brides, abuses a small girl, multiple wives, himself a warrior, himself a war criminal, himself beheads Jews. This, I would have thought, would be a signal of not great peacefulness.
Best-selling author and pundit Douglas Murray is a well-known opponent of what he sees as the threat posed by Islamic extremism and the inability of moderate Muslim leaders to combat it properly. Murray contends that if Islam is the revealed word of God, then its teachings need to be more widely known. But as it stands, the faith is something difficult to comprehend and enigmatic. He argues that this makes it more challenging to take on the issue of extremism head-on.
Thank you. Well, thank you for a very enlightening, I think, debate tonight. I think we, on this side, made it very clear that we don't think there's a fight between Islam and the West, or Islam and civilization, or anything else like that. We've made a very clear set of points tonight. And one of those points, which I hope people will bear in mind, is we have said repeatedly that it is in Muslims and their critical faculties, Muslims and their behavior, Muslims and their faith, that we have hope. And it is in people like you that we have hope for the future. And if the motion were that Islam a century from now could be a religion of peace, and people would be quoting Ziba and Majid and seminal moments like this, and that they had learned from it, well, that would be terrific. But at the moment, tonight, you're being asked to vote on whether Islam is now a religion of peace. Is Islam a religion of peace? I think it is very clear that it is not. This does not mean, of course it doesn't mean, that Muslims are all violent. We would never make that point. We never have made that point.
In his 2017 book, The Strange Death of Europe, Murray makes the case that the values and culture of Europe are seriously threatened by unrestrained immigration and the growth of Islamic fundamentalism. He has urged Muslim leaders to change their faith, claiming that the Quran encourages bigotry and bloodshed. Throughout today's conversation, we will consider Murray's perspectives on Islamic extremism and their link to social and religious upheaval in Europe, the United Kingdom, the United States, and other countries. Before we get started, please click the bell button to receive future updates and subscribe to our channel. Let's now concentrate on the urgent matter at hand. We ask you to contemplate if Islam is genuinely a religion of peace. Murray contends that the evidence contradicts this, citing instances where the Islamic world has drastically departed from its customs, leading to misguided understandings of the religion. Murray claims that if these challenges are not resolved, we may experience increased attacks, escalating difficulties, and perhaps even the dissolution of the communities we have laboriously created. Murray rose to popularity as a proponent of the Iraq War and a neoconservative thinker in the early 2000s. Since then, he has concentrated on what he perceives to be an increase in Islamic radicalization in the West and around the world. His opinions have drawn support from anti-Islamic activists as well as criticism from others who charge him for inciting dangerous far-right rhetoric and Islamophobia. Muslim academics have sharply disagreed with Murray's proposal for a reformation of Islam, claiming that his understanding of the religion is limited and false. Many individuals in the UK think that unrestricted migration from the conflict zones such as Gaza and Iraq, where violent beliefs are familiar, is the cause of increased social unrest. According to Murray, this is a significant problem that politicians frequently ignore and that, if not handled effectively, might jeopardize national security. Former Dutch politician and activist Ian Hirsi Ali, born in Somalia, has also been a strong opponent of Islamic extremism. She has experienced reactions including threats of death from extremist Islamists, just like Murray. Her CILE emphasizes the necessity of facing up to difficult facts regarding extremism and the conversion of some aspects of Islam into weapons. Murray credits the 2005 London bombings, which he sees as a wake-up call on the potential of domestic Islamic radicalization, for his increased concern over these issues. Even if his speech has grown increasingly divisive, he has been committed to raising the alarm ever since. Murray claims that this battle selected him, not the other way round. He believes speaking up is morally required, even in the face of unpopularity. Murray thinks that in the future, moderate Muslim scholars and clerics will have to spearhead a re-examination of Islamic theology and practice. He contends that religion can change and become a force for harmony and peace in the 21st century, shedding its links to bigotry and violence. He thinks Islam's future depends on its adherents' readiness to face and resolve internal conflicts. Murray is unfazed by the death threats he receives from different Islamic factions. He advocates for increasing the number of people who can uphold the truth and seek to promote harmony. We appreciate you viewing this video. Please express your ideas and worries in the comments area. Remember to click the bell icon and subscribe if you want to be informed on any updates on new projects. I'll see you soon. Take care.